Hello everyone, welcome to Inside Talk Show Road Edition. I am visiting family on the road, but the show must go on. Here we go. We are continuing Neville Goddard's reading, The Power of Awareness. We're on chapter 18. Chapter 18 is titled, Be Ye Doers. Let's dive right in. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. The word in this quotation means idea, concept, or desire. You deceive yourself by hearing only when you expect your desire to be fulfilled through mere wishful thinking. Your desire is what you want to be, and looking at yourself in a glass is seeing yourself in imagination as that person. Forgetting what manner of man you are is failing to persist in your assumption. The perfect law of liberty is the law which makes possible liberation from limitation, that is, the law of assumption. To continue in the perfect law of liberty is to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. All right, let me just double check that everything is working right here. Okay, we're going to shut that down. All right, I'm just going to reread that first section just so that we can get into this. Really open your mind, open your ears, and let this wash over you. Okay. So chapter 18, Be ye doers. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what the manner of man he was. This is Old English. So basically, this is like looking in the mirror, looking at your face. The minute you walk away, you forget what you look like. But who look at this perfect law and continue, who looks at this perfect law, the law of assumption, that if you hold it in your mind, and with your will and with all your might, it will happen. If you understand that law and you just go along like you don't have the power and you're a victim, you're just a hearer of the word, you're not the doer of the work. But if you hear it and you assume it and you hold it and you follow it through, this man shall be blessed in his deed. The word in this quotation means idea, concept, or desire. You deceive yourself by hearing only, by just dreaming, when you expect your desire to be fulfilled through just wishful thinking. Your desire is what you want to be, and looking at yourself in the glass, looking really at your desire, seeing in your imagination as the person you want to be, the thing you want to have, everything you want to accomplish. Forgetting what manner of man you are, letting go of the assumption. You're failing to persist. The perfect law of liberty is the law which makes possible liberation from limitation. It's that savior. Imagination is literally the savior from our past. It's the future. It's what hasn't been yet. That's where we're growing towards. To continue in perfect law, the law of assumption, is to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. Just stay there mentally in the real world, the true real world behind your eye. Because whatever's behind your eye will end up in front of your eye. It's not the other way around. You are not a forgetful hearer when you keep the feeling of your wish fulfilled constantly alive in your consciousness. Okay? You are not a forgetful hearer when you keep the feeling of your wish fulfilled constantly alive in your consciousness. This makes you a doer of the work, and you are blessed in your deed by the inevitable realization of your desire. You must be a doer of the law of assumption, for without application, the most profound understanding will not produce any desired result. You must be a doer of the law of assumption. You must do anything We've talked about this before. Seen or unseen, physical or mental, psychological. You must be a doer of the workout, of the ab workout or the bicep curls, because without application, you ain't gonna get no results. You must be a doer of the law of assumption, for without application, the most profound understanding will not produce any desired result. Frequent reiteration and repetition of important basic truths run through these pages. Where the law of assumption is concerned, the law that sets man free. This is a good thing. It should be made clear again and again, even at the risk of repetition. Why do we hate repetition? Let's think about that. Why do we hate repetition? Because our mind is saying, I already know that. I don't need that. Our physical body, we don't need that. But our mind, our soul, our hearts, we do need it because our psyche is endless. We need it. I was just thinking the other day, someone you love, family, friends, a lover, they say, I love you for the first time. Your boo-boo, your new boo. I love you. Is that the first and last time they say it? Hails to the no. You better believe you better hear it every day, multiple times a day. Why do we need to hear that over and over? Number one, it feels great. It reaffirms. And we're new people every day. Well, you said I love you yesterday. Do you love me today? Like, our psyche and our soul needs that repetition. It's what sustains us. It puts money in the bank, the spiritual bank. Unfortunately, we're putting money in, we're investing without any returns. We're literally just throwing our energy and our power away. We need to invest in the repetition of the things that actually matter, not the repetition of things that cause us stress and worry and just anxiety and drama. Okay. Where the law of assumption is concerned, the law sets man free. This is a good thing. It should be made clear again and again, even at the risk of repetition. The real truth seeker will welcome this aid in concentrating his attention upon the law which sets him free. Wouldn't you think? The parable of the master's condemnation of the servant who neglected to use the talent given him. That's a good, remember the parable of the talents. There was two servants. The master was like, okay, I'm going to go on vacation for a while. Here's some talents. It's funny because talents were the unit of money in that time, but talents for us is what we were given, right? So say the master, your creator, gave you all these talents. All right, I'm going to go off for a while. You're going to be on your own. I'm counting on you to use all your talents so that when I come back, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, look what you did. But that wasn't the case. With this parable, the master went away, gave the two people talents. One person sowed their talents, invested them, made a big return, made big, wonderful things with the talents. This other person was afraid that they would lose the investment. So they buried the talents in the dirt, saved them. So when the master came back, he saw, oh my God, look what you did. You invested. Wow, look at, he looked at the other person. He's like, what did you didn't do anything with them? You didn't invest anything? You buried them? And how sad is that? Because out of fear, think we're doing the right thing, playing it safe. Didn't work out too well. That's where that whole saying is, to him who haveth, who's given, more will be given. And who doesn't have much, more will be taken away. Because you can't be trusted. That's why. Because you ain't going to do nothing with it anyway because you're too scared. Okay. It says, the parable of the master's condemnation of the servant, because the master condemned was really pissed at the servant that did not invest the talents and use the talents. So the parable of the master's condemnation of the servant who neglected to use the talents given him, that's Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 to 30, by the way, is clear and unmistakable. Having discovered within yourself the key to the treasure house, you should be like the good servant who by wise use multiplied by many times the talents entrusted to him. The talent entrusted to you is the power to consciously determine your assumptions. You were given so much power. Neville, in this sphere that we are studying together, Neville Goddard talks about That power, that God-like ability. We are not God, but we have the power of God within us. That's why we can make real big things happen, good or bad. We're powerful. So the talent entrusted to you is the power to consciously determine your assumptions. The godlike power, that powerful part, our heart, our psyche, the godlike ability in us. That's where all of our talents lie. We have the ability. Consciously determine what goes in there. Because remember, whatever assumption lays in here in our heart and our soul, it's going to be here. We have big power in this world, really big power. So the talent not used, like the limb not exercised, withers and finally atrophies. Don't use it, you lose it. What you must strive after is being. In order to do, it is necessary to be. The end of yearning is to be. Hello. The end, remember the stick, he's mad because he's a little furrowed brow. This is longing. Oh, we always want, it's always in front of us. The carrot, whatever we want, our dream, our goal, the relationship, the money, the security, the health. It's always in front of us. Okay. The end of yearning. So knock this off because forever it'll be in front of you. Always in the future. Every time you move, this moves too. You will never get it. So the end of yearning is to be. Grab it right now in your internal mind, and then it will be in your hand in real life. You have to be it. Strive after having it. The end of yearning is to be. Your concept of yourself can only be driven out of consciousness by another concept of yourself. So your concept of yourself, as it is right now, however you conceive yourself to be, whatever your thoughts are. So your concept of yourself can only be driven out. You can only move to a different state, change by another concept. You have to replace it. You got to pick it up, replace it. Shed that skin. We are always learning and growing. It's in nature. It shows us all the time. But we have that free will and we resist growing and changing. So your concept of yourself can only be driven out of consciousness by another concept of yourself. By creating an ideal in your mind, you can identify yourself with it until you become one and the same with the ideal, thereby transforming yourself into it. By creating an ideal in your mind, you can identify yourself with it until you become one and the same with it, with that ideal, thereby transforming yourself into it. The dynamic prevails over the static. The dynamic prevails over the static. The active over the passive. One who is a doer is magnetic and therefore infinitely more creative than any who merely hear. Be among the doers. Be ye doers. Let's not be ye talkers. Be ye planners. Be ye one-dayers. Be ye in the futures. Now, here, now, and we can do that right now. Close your eyes. Paint a picture in your mind. Paint it in real life. That's what vision boards are for. You can poo-poo all you want, baby. Whatever image you are imprinting on your mind. That's why words are so powerful. That's what your reality will be. That's what you'll see. This is really good. It was just an absolute pleasure to be with you here on the road edition in the back room of my family's home. I love this. Be ye doers. Let's be. Let's knock this shenanigans off. Close our eyes and go to the inner real world and be it already. Be ye doers. Have a wonderful Monday. It's going to be a fabulous week. My mantra I love to say, I am so happy and grateful now for the miracles that will happen to me and through me today. You can steal that. Believe that it will happen. What miracle will happen to you today? What miracle will happen through you today? I can't wait to hear them all. And I can't wait to tell you all about mine. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.